Interesting acknowledgement. I think this was from yesterday too, on Channel 7, Eyewitness News. Now, again, rather than coming to me directly and involving me, humans have ignored me and what I need to know and what they need to know, and working in unison and partnership since I arrived, certainly. And by the looks of the way my mother has no answers, it looks like it's been going on for decades longer than my current 4-year decades spent here waiting. Now, at a hole between here and there, there's some conversation about whatever. I met a principal, other than my father, I met a principal once. My father doesn't really count for this conversation. There's a principal who showed up for a ride to Port Jefferson, a seat at that bar, a conversation that went nowhere because I didn't even know how to have the conversation. I didn't know what to ask. I said, I don't know if I don't want to come off as rude, but I don't even know how to, I don't know. And that's genuine. That's just how it goes with me. If I'm caught off guard, which he was on guard, I was off guard, for whatever. And, this is a parody or a parallel, perhaps, moment. It says, what's the policy? Well, over here in some looks like driftwood, but whatever it is, non-essential detail. It says, no visitor may confer with a student in school without the approval of the principal. So if the principal himself wants to come and have a conversation, how is that regulated? I'm just curious. Any such conference may take place only in the presence of a teaching staff member and/or administrator. So, because this also had a brown paper bag reference to whatever this is what it says. Now, interestingly enough, I went to a school no more important than this one, wherever it was in Northeast. And I don't know what school policy was. Again, if the school has all of these policies that they tell New York State, no, here's our policies, here's our mission statement, here's our policies. But then the students just walk through those doors, and there's never been a conversation between administration and the children. And then one better, not the principal I met with, not the level of on-guard principal I met with, but just a regular school principal of non-essential. It's a totally different system. They just use the word and then confuse the subjects. So now, school administration, or like school administrator, let's just call principal of a school. They have some policy with the state. What state sets the policy? School writes their own or drafts their own. Great. So now, is the school principal having assembly with the children that they supposedly principal over? Just curious, because I've had 4 children and I've gone through the school system as has my mother, and I've never had assembly where they taught the school's policies with the state interaction to the children. Not once. In all the years and all the time wasted in the state of New York. So now, if the principal knows how they have to answer to the state and what the policies are, but they're not teaching the children or holding an assembly of any sort to teach the children what the state requirement and policies are. How do the children protect themselves from getting in trouble with the principal? It's century 20, year 22. On one hand, it's so grossly negligible, but the humans, from what I've seen, have turned into animals and monsters on this topic. I have not seen them make the fight correct. It's so topsy-turvy. I was thinking, I'm like, okay, so now if I've heard this word federalist, I just don't know what it means. Because again, I don't have a law background, and I was denied from going to Harvard by whoever their admissions staff. So I didn't, whatever. But it's so topsy-turvy right now. Like the preceding decades into what was spoken and being taught and told was already by a growing demographic that were already guilty and committing crimes and trying to rewrite their importance over the local population and putting themselves in power positions of principal, statesman, attorney, and several other industry-specific titles for which I don't speak their level of insolence, being resilient myself in a zero-class situation and trying to, they've already put it through a filter. They're already talking about it in classified information and leaks and sieves and how do we fix this. They're already on teleportation. They've already sold somehow seats on that communication device to things that should be in a zero class, but through some loophole that was created somewhere in the whatever, now all of a sudden they've created leaks. So now it becomes difficult to err on the side of federalist, err on the side of, am I a states person? States. Am I a federal person? Am I just the victim of all of these crimes, but trying to stand up for myself and say, do I need a statesman? Do I need a federal person? If federal dictates to states, then I think a direct conversation with federal, there's been a lot going on in the states that is concerning, but I don't know where to voice my concern without getting myself in some form of corporate then loop of a fistula. There's an intestinal tract. It feels like a fistula that I'm like, ay. Where's On Guard? It's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza. It's Earth, solar system, Milky Way, universe, galaxy is broken, and it's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361.